Deciding on how long to stretch is going to be very case dependent. So in this video, we're going to be going over some strategies of how to get started with stretching, how to start progressing your stretching so you can start getting more out of your flexibility training. This is a very common question that I get when I'm working with clients, and I always make my decision based on the person that is in front of me. So I want to lay out my overall thought process when it comes to determining how long to stretch, because there's a lot of other things that start to get in the way of you being able to get the benefits out of that stretching routine. When it comes to training in general, the overall approach should be you should start from easy to up to intense. That's because in the beginning, you're just starting to get the idea of how to do a very specific thing. Stretching is a skill, and that takes time and practice, just like you would learn how to do a bench press, how to do a row or a squat, and all the techniques that are involved with it. There are techniques that you will have to learn when it comes to stretching. You should start with what you can handle for that first session. If you can hold a stretch for 30 seconds, a minute and a half without it becoming too uncomfortable or painful, then that's your baseline. You never want to start with just say 10 or 30-second stretches because you saw that online somewhere that you should only stretch for that long. I think the approach should be you're always trying to challenge you as an individual, and in this case, we're trying to improve our flexibility. So if we're not trying to push the boundaries, every time that we approach a stretching session, then you're not going to see that improvement over time. Ideally, you would be able to hold a stretch for a long duration of time. I've had stretching sessions that were upwards of 10-minute holds, depending on what my objective for that day was, and if I had experience even stretching that muscle. And that's where the first key point comes in, is view this as where are you in your journey or experience level with stretching. I don't expect someone that has never stretched before to be able to hold a stretch for as long as someone that's been doing it since they were a kid, a gymnast that holds stretches for a long time. That just wouldn't make sense. So prescribing someone to hold a stretch for 2 minutes when they've never done it before isn't really setting that person up for necessarily success. What's more important is the thought processes, the approach behind what are we trying to do when we're getting into a stretch position. My personal opinion is that people that say you should only hold a stretch for 15 or 30 seconds because X research article said this, they're not really learning about them and their clients and what's working, what's not working. And if you holding a 15-second stretch is working, continue to do that. If holding 15 to 30-second stretches fits better into your lifestyle and your routine, and that's what you can stay consistent with, then it's better than nothing. But if you're really trying to obtain a very specific goal, which is to improve flexibility over time, then it's going to just take that time piece, and the longer that you can spend doing it over a certain amount of time, the more you're going to get out of it. So if you can start accumulating 1, 2, 3-minute stretching sessions, every time that you stretch, you're going to start getting better and better at stretching and start seeing results just a little bit faster. Like I said, at the end of the day, we're all going to be different. We all have different anatomy and how we move and how we function, our pain levels, our stress, our hydration. So my advice to you is to not obsess over the length of time that you're doing it for right now, but more about, are you progressing over time and are you actually seeing results? And it's going to be that kind of trial and error that you're now learning more about you as an individual, which is going to be way more important than stopping at an arbitrary number. If you got value out of this video, give it a thumbs up. Go ahead and leave a comment down below with how long you're stretching for when you are doing your stretching routines, how long you've been stretching for. Have you been stretching for years? Are you working towards a very specific goal? Let's get that conversation started in the comment section, and I will see you there.